Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing the Dodge Charger Daytona Scat Pack. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Dodge here in Sandy for giving me some time with this Charger Daytona. I'll include a link to their website in the description down below. If you have any questions, just ask for Mason. Also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. This is a 100.5 kilowatt hour battery pack, dual electric motor setup, putting out 670 horsepower, 627 pound-feet of torque, and this is able to go 241 miles on a charge. Before I move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, I am a huge fan of this new style cue. You can see you've got that for airflow. It just looks really cool. And the front end in general, super futuristic looking. And you guys can see the giant light bar effect there. It goes all the way across. Got parking sensors there. But yeah, I mean, it still has that boxy muscle car design. Now our turn wheel setup is 305 by 35 by 20 in the front, and then 325 by 35 by 20 in the rear, so slightly wider tires in the back. This new wheel design, I think it looks really sharp. Brembo brakes with this, and you can see the brakes are pretty big, filling out that 20-inch wheel. You've got the Scat Pack logo, Stage 2 as well. And then look at the silhouette of this car. Really cool looking. This, of course, leads us to the key fob. We have our lock and unlock, remote start. We got the opening for the trunk, Dodge logo there on the back. And popping inside, I thought I unlocked it. Take two, folks. Let's try that again. I guess I have to hold it down. Anyways, this is a hatch, so you've got quite a bit of storage space in the rear. It's a little charging cable here in the back as well. But yeah, that definitely adds to the practicality. Now let's see if it's easy to close it. This thing is more temperamental than my 2-year-old. Give me a moment. I just put it down manually because I was done with key fob games. But anyways, taillights on this also really cool. You have that fun light bar effect, and then you guys can see here with the spoiler on the back, parking sensors back there as well, Daytona, and that's the rest of the rear. And popping inside, the interior is actually really cool. So you see the stitching that goes across the top, that design element's cool looking too. Got your window controls here, blind spot monitoring as well, memory seats. And then you got this little strap here to pull forward the seat. So you do have back seats. It's not the most cramped for a muscle car type design, but yeah, I still would reserve it for kids. And it looks like they have heated seats in the back and some USBs, which is always a nice feature to have. And then the front seat, of course, has that cool bucket type design. It's power adjustable. And then you got more nice trim on the dash. Boop. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, you've got the very squared off design, flat bottom, all of that. Perforated trim on either side. Paddle shifters there on the back. We also have radio controls below those. Practical controls on this, so like your adaptive cruise control with your lane centering. Got your power shot function, your drive mode select. Controls for the center, and then you can see your windshield wiper stock. Digital gauge cluster here in the center, and you can use it to change what it shows information wise. Relatively customizable. You can see it's a navigation screen right now. Apparently I can't talk. Now this does have a nice 360 camera system, good resolution. I imagine this might make its way over into some other product like the Durango. It needs a 360 camera, just saying. Anyways, as for the rest of the infotainment system, you can see a little shortcut buttons there on either side for the seats. It does have heated and cooled seats, and if you pop over into the comfort tab, it takes a second to load it up, but yeah, it'll have all of that. Vehicle tab is probably the most exciting. You can see here you've got ambient lighting and everything, and then you can go into the autonomous functions as well. If I press the drive mode button on the steering wheel, it'll automatically pull that up. You can see the different modes this comes with. It does also have an eco mode as well if you want to get a little bit more range. Probably notice also the little haptic feedback buttons here which is kind of, yeah, interesting. Got some USB ports down below. You can see the launch control, stability, lane departure, parking sensors, phone charging pad. Got your shifter here, cup holders, your on-off. Got your parking brake tube, center console, which is neat. Nice trim there, and then again, nice trim all across. Like the design here on the dash, it's cool looking. It definitely has some style to it. Anyways, brings us to the pricing here on this 2025 Trek package, Scat pack, $79,680. Let's see how it performs. So, something interesting to note. So this is just auto. This kind of sounds like a spate here. I'm going to do this around the parking lot so I can show you. So it just kind of sounds like a spaceship. Sport mode, you can actually rev. And it also kind of sounds like spaceship-like with a little bit of aggression. And then if you do track or drag, it gets even louder. And this is where, I mean, it's obviously still synthetic and spaceship-like, but it's like the most aggressive. So here, we'll drive in auto first, so you guys can see the difference between them. So here's our acceleration in auto with the sound. Not much. Not much. And here's sport. So you can see it kind of has like a video game-esque sound to it. It's like whirring and everything. Now we'll pop it into the track. Still sounds video game-esque, but then you got like kind of some rumbling. It's very interesting. It's definitely, it's also louder too. As you go through the drive modes, it gets louder and louder. Man, this thing actually handles pretty darn well. Again, electric cars, you're gonna have a lower center of gravity. Still, turning and everything's pretty impressive. Man, that rumble. This is weird. Yeah, it's very video game-esque. A weird car. Now, something to note, I do not have all of the power that I could have. The reason being is you have to have 500 miles apparently to get all of the power out of the Scat Pack or the RT. So that is something. Actually, I'll go around here. I was going to go through this, but I'll just go all the way around. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. I would not want to drive on the highway with that. So I'm glad that you can do it with different sounds, because yeah, I would get tired of that pretty quick on like a long highway drive. Still pretty quick in this format. Oh man, they're cutting down the trees. Well, R.I.P. another field for probably another swig, who knows. Anyways, this thing's pretty cool. You know, I think this is gonna end up being a collector car like 50 years down the road. Here's why. I don't think that many of these are actually gonna end up selling. But it is such a unique, it is such a weird car that I do think that it's gonna be one of those things where it's gonna be like, remember that time when we put a fake exhaust note on an electric car? I think that's what this is gonna turn into, right? And then you've got the Hyundai Ioniq 5N. Same thing, it's gonna be like, remember when we had synthetic sounds and fake gear shifts with an electric car? So I think it's gonna be, maybe in that sense, I'm not telling you to invest in one of these. Buy it if you want to drive one. But I could see that happening, especially with all the stigma against electric cars now. Like, people that I know that used to be for electric cars are now against them. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I am excited to drive the Hurricane version. Not sure exactly when those are gonna land, but yeah, I guess if you want a car that's all-wheel drive and faster than a Hellcat, or as quick as a Hellcat 0 to 60, that's what this provides. But it's also the same price as the Hellcats used to be, so it's kind of like yeah, interesting. But it is an experience. This is an experience, that's for sure.